Okay, good morning. So, hope everyone is doing good. Before we start, anybody has any questions on Spring MVC? So far, doing good? So, I don't have much goals because I know I scared you guys in the last class towards the end. So, let's make sure today we are 100% clear and walk away with it. Okay. So, let's get that confidence by implementing Spring MVC in our eShop application so that we'll get a lot of confidence. Okay, so we'll do it again, but to our eShop application. And we will implement add and edit for customer. So do you have the DAOs? Do you guys have the DAOs for customer DAO? Do you have the implementation for customer DAO? Anyone? Can one of you speak? Maybe we do.
Yeah, we have.
Let's take a look at it. Get all customers, we have it. Or create a customer, we have it. Oh, very good. Very good. Okay, we have. Update customer, we have it. So we have. And then let's make sure we also have the service classes. Hey, I created this eShop 5, okay? So it's as is copy version of eShop 4. I have not done anything other than in the POM XML. I just added Spring Web and Spring MVC, Web MVC as the dependencies. That's all. I didn't do anything. So this is just the old code, and I don't think Spring MVC is introduced here. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So what do I have to do if I want to introduce a Spring MVC? Anyone? What do I have to do? I currently have all of these servlets. Homepage servlet, I have shopping cart servlet, I have checkout servlet.
Okay, add the Spring related group ID and artifact ID and all those things to your POM.
POM,
And
yes,
then save
we
it.
did that.
Yeah.
We did that.
Okay, now then build.
Okay, that's the first step. Very good, Sean. That's the first step.
Okay.
Okay, what's the
Okay.
second step?
Then build. There's a certain build an update, not build. Sorry, update
Sure.
project.
Okay, yep. Okay. After you added in pom.xml, you have to do a right click, Maven, and then update project.
Update project.
So it will update all the projects. Okay. And then Uma, speak. No typing. You are correct. And what's the next step? Sean, you hold for a second, okay?
Yeah, I'm
Let
done.
me see if anyone else can speak. Yeah, Uma.
Yeah, mention the servlet name as dispatcher servlet and
Good, very good. So, what am I doing with all of these servlets?
Make them web controllers.
you can remove them.
So that
Can remove them? Okay,
I don't know. Yeah.
I'll do whatever you say. Who is typing again? Sean, okay. Next one. So what do I do here?
Servlet name.
Configure dispatcher servlet
Servlet name.
as
Servlet name.
Madhavi, huh?
Servlet name.
Okay, but I mean that one we can copy it. We did it probably 100 times so far. That's not a big deal. But we are going to configure dispatcher servlet as the front controller, so that every single request will be taken by that dispatcher servlet, right? I'm not going to type all of that here. We typed so far several times. So I'm not going to do that. So this is what, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Okay. Servlet name. Okay.
Yep. Oh yeah, what you're saying is correct. But I'm saying the concept. Tell me the concept. So
Sure.
we'll say eShop. Yeah, eShop is fine. Dispatcher servlet. This is the most important part, right? So this is how we configure dispatcher servlet as the front controller. Every single request is taken by this guy, right? So now, good Oma. And next, Madhavi, what's the next step?
eShop hyphen servlet.xml.
Tell me why before we do that. What is it and why do we need to do it?
This one is
Can I give it
Spring
a try?
config XML, right?
Right. Go ahead, Antenna. You're saying something?
Yeah, it's configuration.
This is your Spring
Configuration
config.
over
This is your
configuration.
Spring configuration.
Yeah,
This
so
is your Spring config XML, but by convention, dispatcher servlet expects that name to be your servlet name hyphen servlet.xml. That is why.
Servlet.xml.
Very good. Very, very, very good. Okay, this is I copy pasted here the servlet Spring config XML. Now let me pull someone else. Monica, I don't know whether you can answer this one. Do you know what is this one? Context component scan. What does it do? Or anyone? What does it do? And what is this base package? Anyone?
it will go through.
Go ahead. Antenna, go ahead.
It will check with the whole package, and it scans the different components with com.training that will match com.training. So
It is going to scan all the classes within this package for
yeah,
Spring managed beans. How does
yeah.
how does Spring identify the Spring managed beans? With the
Is the
standard
class name?
annotation.
There is a
Exactly.
four annotation. No, controller and
No, all
yeah,
the annotations, all the annotations. What are those annotations? Just for
controller repository
Survey
and survey.
okay. And what is the
component.
fourth one, Oma?
Component.
Component. Yes. So at component, at repository, at service, and at controller. Right? Okay. Good. Very good. And now this com.training, is that right?
Venkat,
In this context?
I'll stop you at this point. One question.
Yeah.
About this. See, I've seen in a certain site like other ats like at required, at qualifier. Are they old-fashioned?
At required. Huh?
Yeah, at required, at qualifier, all these kinds of things.
We talked about qualifier. Required comes in a different context. That's in
Okay.
those are different annotations.
Okay.
Do you know that? It's a good question, Sean, for everybody. Do you know that you can write your own annotation? I can write an annotation with at shown. I talked about it in JDK 5 new language features. If you you don't have to do it now. You are only the user. You are only the user of these annotations. But if at all you ever want to write it, go watch that video. Anyways, the point is, those are all different annotations. At required and all, there's something called Java Bean validation framework. So they are part of that one. But at qualifier is definitely a Spring annotation. When do we use at qualifier? Can anyone tell me? And I'll email a book, a free book. Whoever
Okay.
answers in what
I
scenario
Whenever-
precisely.
We create
Whenever we have the same class names.
Yeah, implementation
Whenever,
interface and classes when we create, then
yeah, and then we'll exactly give the names for that class with all the package and all that.
Anyone else? I both of you got the concept.
Or if we
I
want
got it.
to,
I got it. But
if we
any
want to,
yeah,
if
go
we
ahead.
want to rename that class, for example, if the example that you said is if we have a class called car and if we want to rename it as something else, then I think we use a qualifier.
No. Totally unrelated. Sorry to say that, but totally unrelated.
Yeah, yeah.
So the other two, Madhavi and Antenna, you got the concept, I got it. But any refined way, like if I ask you that question in interview, how do you answer it? If you answer that in interview, I'll not be so convinced. So, put your wording a little differently. Tell me a little differently.
there is a interface vehicle and there is a class car. So if we, I can't understand.
So, if one component depends on another component, let's say your service depends on a DAO, right? Customer service depends on customer DAO. It's absolutely a good idea. It's a great idea actually to take these examples in interview when they ask rather than throwing out the book answer. Always take the example. That's a good idea. So if you have a customer service and customer DAO, customer service depends on customer DAO, but customer DAO interface has more than one implementations that are annotated with the Spring Managed Beans. So there are more than one Spring Managed Bean that are of type customer DAO, right? In that case, Spring gets confused. Hey, auto wiring by type, but I see two implementations of the same type. Which one do you want me to implement? Either customer DAO JDBC impl or customer DAO JPA impl or Hibernate impl. Which one do you want me to inject into customer service? Okay. That is at auto-wired. Sorry, at qualifier, right? Okay. Anyways, so is this base package correct? Is this base package correct?
Yes, I think so.
Um,
com.eshop.
No, see
Oh,
here,
we
okay.
don't
You're saying
have a
whether
training,
okay,
so
okay. That's what you're asking.
com.eshop.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah. That's fine.
Now, can anyone tell me what this one does? Internal resource view resolver. Why do we have to provide this bean?
For mapping the targets.
Okay, more polished answer.
whenever the dispatcher servlet forwards to the view with a name, then the internal resource view resolver will add the prefix and the suffix and will identify the exact, location for that particular DSP.
The physical path of that view. That's a precise answer. Yes. When you give a logical view name to the dispatcher servlet will consult the internal resource view resolver or any view resolver for that matter. Internal resource view resolver is one of the implementations of the view resolver interface. So it will consult this guy. Hey, this is my logical view name. Give me the physical path of that view. And then it will append, it will concatenate the prefix and suffix with your logical view name to give you the exact JSP page. Very good. Okay. So these two steps are good. Now, what do? What's the next step that we do? We have these servlets. We have this checkout servlet. We have this home page servlet. So let's deal with the home page servlet first. This is the first one, right? So what do you want me to do with these guys? Are we going to leave like this? In web.xml, we didn't configure any servlet. So what do I have to do now?
put annotation of web controller with a slash.
The application
First of
context.
all, this is not going to be a servlet, right? So I need to create a controller, right? So I'll say home controller, right? And then I'll put it
Yes,
at controller annotation as the first step.
controller.
Now,
And request mapping, at request mapping and the method name.
yeah, that's the method name. So we get the do, get, and do post. Okay, when we get the, so we did not implement do post. See, all of this boilerplate code will be gone now. We'll only care about this one, and we don't need to call this do get. We can call anything. Any method name is fine. So what are we doing here? We can specify our intentions very clearly. So take me to the home page, right? Okay. So public string, let's say home page, right? And then every method should have,
At request mapping.
good, at request mapping. And then what's the URL? Which URL does it respond to?
Home. Home.
Home?
Yeah. Is it okay? Slash home.
Sure. Or it can be just slash, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is that, I think that is what we put it in our,
Hello.
I think so.
Hello control.
In our
Yeah.
original one, sorry, in our original web.xml,
Hello control.
if you look at it, home page, it's a slash. So meaning, if somebody comes directly to our home page, where do we? This method will be called, right? And now let's get all of this one, and then I'll show you how simple this one is. Look at it, guys. I mean, this is the perfect comparison. Do we have to do any of this one? Spring config XML. Okay, we need the product service.
No,
So how do I change this one? Do I have to load the Spring config XML again and again? Everybody.
no, only one time.
Why?
No, only
Why
once.
not? I mean, okay. So who is loading that one time? Are we loading it explicitly?
No,
Who loads
it
it?
is
Spring
it
is
is
Spring.
Dispatch servlet
the
loads it. Dispatch servlet loads it as part of its init. Okay? Initialization. Because that's a servlet. So that's it. It only does once. Now, in the case of servlets, I told you that servlets are not Spring managed beans because their life cycle is managed by
Servlet container.
Exactly. Okay. Now that is why you have to explicitly you have to configure the Spring config XML. You have to explicitly load it. But here, these are Spring managed beans. Your service class will be directly auto wired. Are you guys getting it? You can directly do an at auto wired. You don't need to get this one. Your service class will be injected into your controller because your controller is also a Spring managed bean. Did you understand the beauty of it now? Everybody, are you understanding the beauty? Once you get the products, now, you want me to explain again?
Yeah, please.
Sure. My point is that, see here, earlier or here, right? In the case of servlet, we loaded the Spring config XML explicitly and asking the Spring, hey, can you give me the product service? But here, we don't have to do this one because this controller, who is going to instantiate this controller? Who is going to manage the lifecycle of this controller? Spring will do it. It is a Spring managed beans. For all the Spring managed beans, the dependencies will be directly injected by Spring. You never have to do product service equal to new product service, or you never have to do application context dot get bean. You don't have to do either of them. It will be directly injected. Are you getting it? Because this is a Spring managed bean. For all the Spring managed beans, all the dependencies will be injected. You don't have to get them. Is that clear now, Antenna?
Yes, yes. Now I got.
Very good. Now, service class has been injected nicely. Now we did service.get all products. We got all the products. Now, are we going to put it in the request scope directly? Are we going to put it in the request scope directly? Nope. What is this products here? In model view controller pattern, what did we get it just now? We got the data from backend. What is it called? There is a precise name for that. That is called
Model.
model. Precisely. That is called model. And now, this home.jsp is what? What is this one? This is
View.
This is view, precisely. So
View.
this is model, this is view. Now, we don't have to put it in the request scope. Spring MVC is going to do that for us. And we don't have to forward to the view directly. Your Spring MVC is going to do that. Your dispatcher servlet is going to do that. So what we need to do is, okay, there is an object called model and view. You construct this model and view. Okay?
New model and view.
New model and view.
And then model
Model
and view
dot
dot
set view name.
set
So
view name.
What is your view name here?
Home.
Very good, Uma. Say that little loud. You're doing good. So your home name is just a home. Everything else, all of this is going to be appended and forwarded automatically. Now, what is your model here? This guy. Now, you are going to give this model. You are going to give this model to the dispatcher servlet, right? How do we do that? In model and view, you have
Dot add object.
dot add object. Now, what is your attribute name? Anyone?
Product.
What is your attribute name?
I'm not sure.
What is your attribute name here in this example? Anyone? You're doing
All
the request.
products.
That's exactly.
All product.
Exactly. Request that's an attribute.
Home products.
With
But
this
that's-
name, under this name, you want to give this model. You are saying that, hey, my model is going to be bound with this name. So what you're telling dispatcher servlet is that, hey, this is my view, okay, and this is my model. This model, you can have several models, right? So all the products are bound with this all products. So what dispatcher servlet will do behind the scenes is that it will get request.set attribute all products, and then it is going to write these 2 lines of code, request dispatcher and then forward, okay, and then gives it to the JSP page. Now in the JSP page, you can use your old style JSTL and say C: for each items with all products. That absolutely works. Now you just return your model and view. That's it. That's it. These are, what are these? Unused imports. It's bad. The Eclipse gives you warning if your imports are unused. What do you have to do? Organize imports. Control-Shift-O will automatically take away. Organize imports. Keep your code always clean. Anyways, in fact, you wrote three lines, right? You can write all of this in a single line also. There is a different constructor that directly takes the view name. There is one more constructor that takes directly view name, like this. Okay? And in fact, I believe, let's take a look at it.
Venkat,
Yeah,
can you keep the original one with a comment?
I will. I will. I mean, for simplicity.
No, just so that we can see when we will import that eShop 5, we will know the other syntax also. Just comment the other one. I mean, keep both versions and comment it.
Uh,
Yeah.
are you sure?
Yeah.
Commented code is one of the smells, one of the code smells. Go to eShop 4 and compare it. I would say that.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be even better.
I'm just telling you that commented code is something called code smells, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of code smells are there. One of them is, dead variables, unused imports, all of this. One of them is commented code. A lot of experienced developers, they don't like commented code. You never want to check in your code with the commented code. Your lead or anyone who reviews the code will come and tell you that, hey, no commented code, because you can always get it back from your source code repository, right? That's the main point. I mean, I'm okay here, not too strong here, but in general, that's one of the code smell. I wanted to avoid that.
Okay.
Okay, that's your how simple this one is, but I can do a side by side comparison here, right? In fact, somebody you can do a side by side comparison. Home page servlet and home control. I know
Venkat,
this.
one thing I might have lost along the way. That is, remember we did that cookie download to maintain the session,
Okay.
maintain a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in this code, we are taking care of that thing, right?
That code will not change. We'll get there.
We'll get there. Okay.
Yep. This is the first one, right?
Okay.
So the only home page servlet has been converted to home controller. We didn't do other checkout and shopping cart. They come in checkout and shopping cart. Okay. So let's without delay, let's go ahead and test this guy, because we wrote too much code already. So let's go ahead and test it. I always keep one project open. I always deploy one application. That's my style. You don't have to necessarily follow it, but change the document base. That's no. Okay, there is some errors here. They are really good. Okay, let's take a. We need to solve these server errors first, right? So before that, I'll go ahead and restart, because we just changed the context name. And before you look at the actual application, you need to make sure that your server is up and running properly without any errors, and also your code is deployed. So browse deployment location, eShop 5, web.inf. Okay, web.xml, everything looks good.
The same problem in my Spring memory.
What was the problem? There's no problem. I mean, there's no problem here actually.
Okay.
So when you go to your slash here, okay, when you go to just a home page, just slash, and then your dispatcher servlet has taken the request, okay, because that is how it's configured. Every single URL should go to dispatcher servlet, okay, and then dispatcher servlet looked at every single controller. Here only one controller here, with the URL slash. So your service has been injected automatically because this is a Spring Manager bean, service.get all products. And then you gave the view and you gave the model object. And then we didn't change any of the JSP. JSP looks as is. Your all products, look at it. Your C for each items, all products, because it's exactly same, right? Now this one will change this to eShop.
So we are not using here SF.
We are not. That's a good point. That's a good point. We don't have to use Spring Form tag library to list out the things. Here we are listing out the products, Madhavi, and
Okay.
everyone. Okay. We need Spring Form when we deal with the form to submit something back to the browser, back to the server. At that time, we would need it. I'm sure today, after we convert all of these servlets nicely to controllers, that is our next step.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to do that.
So when we use add or delete or update, then we can use
Absolutely.
SF.
Absolutely. Whenever you need to submit the form, that's when you will use it to bind your object, to bind your variables to the model attribute, and to make your life easy. We are going to look at it today. Okay. For now, all we are doing is C colon for each. You're looping through all the objects with this name. Okay, for each object you put this variable and then you're displaying it nicely. Right? So for this one you don't need anything because your home controller, because here when you give your model, what dispatcher servlet does behind the scenes is that it is going to put this particular model with this name in request scope. It's going to do that request.set attribute all products with this one. Okay, and here you're looking for an object with this name, so which is request.get attribute here, JSTL, regular JSTL, right? Are we 100% clear so far? Any doubts? Anything you want me to explain it? Let's take one step at a time so that we gain more confidence. Uma, everything good? Everybody?
Yeah.
Venkat,
Yes.
you usually say about a scope. You said that there is request scope. Is there any other scope that's going to be defined? I mean, I really missed or something like that.
No problem. Anyone else can answer that? In servlets, how many scopes do we have?
Session.
Yep. The next one is
Session is
session.
one.
And the last one is
And then
context.
request session in this context. Yeah.
So you have 3 scopes in servlet. JSP, you have there's something called page context scope 2, which is whatever you define in that page, it's going to be visible only to that page. But in your servlet, you have request scope, meaning from the point when browser makes a request to the server responds back with the HTML back to the browser, then your request scope is gone. Once response flushed out, your request is gone. Everything that sits in the request is gone. That is request scope. Session scope is that. Anyone can tell me what is a session scope? How long it's going to live? Whatever you put it in the session is going to live until
The session
When
ended?
you log out, then a session will be gone.
Log.
Oma, you are unmuted. Trying to say something?
No. I said until we close that session, the session will be active.
Okay, or it is something
Closing
else.
browser.
Selija.
Yeah, but until we close the browser, session will be there.
Okay, yeah. When you close the session, yes. Obviously, session will be gone. Or when you log out, when you log out, a lot of times we explicitly log out, right? You know what happens under the hood? They'll call a method on a session called invalidate. They will invalidate the session. At that time, all the objects that are sitting in session will be gone. And there is one more, you can explicitly remove from session. Once you are, because all these session objects are going to be stored in server. All the request objects also, they are going to be stored in server, right? Right? In server memory. They are in server memory. So you want to use as efficiently as possible. Once you are done with the object in the session, please remove it. Session.remove attribute, right? At that time, that particular object is gone. And the final one is context. Context is going to live all the way from application startup, meaning application deployment, all the way to the application undeployment. From application startup to the death. So from the minute you started your Tomcat and deployed your application, all the way until you stop the server. Maybe 1,000 people, 1,000 sessions going on in the server. Everyone will see the same context. Whatever you put it in the context will be able to, it's visible for every single request, for every single session across the application, completely application across the application. Any servlet can access it. That is called context.
So it's
So,
like the static.
sorry?
So it's like the static variables.
It's like that. Yes, you can compare it. Yes, you got it. From JVM start to JVM finish is static. So it's exactly like that.
Got it. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, that's your home controller. Now, what's the next one? Okay, we change this C# 5 and then we are saying cart product ID equal to /cart. Okay, earlier /cart is what? /cart is shopping cart servlet. So we need to, next, which one do we have to convert? The shopping cart servlet. So let's go ahead and convert this shopping cart servlet. And by the way, I can
Shopping
remove
cart
this.
controller.
Yep. Yeah. Shopping cart servlet will be transformed into shopping cart. I'm shopping cart controller, yes. And I'm going ahead and removing this home page servlet because we already transformed. Now let's transform this guy. Shopping cart. Controller. We got the shopping cart controller. Oops, maybe I should have started from the beginning. No do get do post, first of all, and then this is not a servlet, and then at controller. It is not a servlet, so no more extends HTTP servlet. And then it's going to be public. And then again, I think we're going to put it in some stuff. So we are going to say string or model and view, either way. Model and view will say, what are we doing here? I'm taking the product and then adding to the cart, right? Okay, right? Add product to cart. Add product to cart. That is what we are doing. So we can be, the beauty of Spring MVC is that we can be as explicit as possible with our methods because it's not a servlet. So we can take all of these guys out and then at request mapping.
Request mapping.
And then what is that? At /cart, I believe, right?
Yes.
And is it a get or post? Let's look at the existing shopping cart servlet. Where did we? Okay, it's a get. Okay. Post is gone. Okay, it's a get. Okay. So do I have to specify method equal to get?
No.
I
By
don't need to.
default, yes.
Good.
No.
Now, how much you remember about this one? I need to get a request parameter of the name product ID. How can I get it in Spring MVC?
It's with request and one more thing, request mapping dot something else. HTTP service.
I have a request parameter with the name product ID. How can I get request parameters?
We need to put a
Request
Request
param.
Right. Tell me. At request param, right?
Yes.
At request param. There is an annotation called request param, and then give your param name, and then you take it as an argument, string product ID, right? If your variable name and the request parameter name are same, do I have to specify this one? I don't need to,
No.
right? But to be explicit, a lot of people still leave it. I'm good either way. I go for simplicity. I don't like this one, honestly. That's me, but a lot of people leave it. It's very explicit. That's what they feel. That's fine. Okay. Now we got the product ID. In fact, the beauty is that, see here, if you get it from request.getParameter of product ID, right? You get the product ID as a string, and then you are converting into int, right? But the beauty with Spring MVC are a lot of web frameworks can do that. They will automatically convert this string into int. So you can specify that directly into product ID. So you can avoid those two lines. That's it. And it's directly giving you as a method argument. And you can take this guy out too. Okay? And now, finally, I need a request.get session. I need a session. So what do I do now? Anyone? I need request.get session, but I don't have a request.
I think it's a request param like that.
Spring MVC will give you HTTP servlet request if you put it in your method argument. Remember that? You just say that HTTP servlet request and request. That's it. Spring MVC, your dispatcher servlet automatically recognizes that, okay, looks like this guy needs request. Okay, let me pass that HTTP servlet request to this one. Are you getting it? Everybody. We did this, remember?
Yes.
Once you get the request, without getting like this, you can do an explicit call. You can do an explicit request.get parameter. You can definitely do it in a old-fashioned way. But do we want to do it? That's the deal. String product ID str equal to, now you can do old code, right? And then int product ID equal to integer.parseInt. You can definitely do all of this, but do you want to do that? We are in 2015. We're using Spring MVC. We don't need to do that. Do you all agree with me on that? Next. I'll give you. Why do you need this HTTP servlet request? Tell me. Why do you need HTTP servlet request?
For managing the system, probably.
In this context, I'm not asking a generic. I'm not asking a generic question. In this method, why do you need? Do you want to take something from HTTP servlet request, or just to get the session? Good, Madhavi. Just to get the session.
Yes.
I'm repeating it. Just to get the session. In that case, in fact, can anyone tell me now based on the style of Spring and Spring MVC, can anyone guess? If you just say that I depend on HTTP session, it actually gives you that. You don't have to get the request and then say request.get session. You don't need to do that one too. It will automatically give you the session. You play with it. How beautiful it is. It's doing a lot of work for us. Are you guys appreciating all of whatever the Spring MVC is doing? Right? Everyone. Right?
Yes.
So directly you just say that, hey, I need HTTP session. Give me the session. I don't need to, I'll give you request and from request you go get the session. No, I depend on HTTP session. Okay, Spring MVC says that, okay, I'll give you the session itself. You don't need to go get it from request. That's so old fashioned. Okay, now application context and service. The shopping cart controller depends on product service. So can anyone tell me whether I need to do this one?
Private.
No.
So what do I do here?
No.
Since shopping cart controller
Private product service.
since say that in a proper English, since shopping cart controller is a Spring managed bean, product service will be automatically injected. Agree?
Yes.
Since shopping cart controller is a Spring managed bean, your product service will be injected into it. You just say that you depend on it. That's it. Spring will magically do it. You don't need to get yourself. Now you get the service.get by ID, product ID. Now you get the product, and then any tab exists with this name. Yeah, if anyone session.get attribute shopping cart, if it's null, then we are creating a new tab. This tab, I hope you're all understanding it. This is a bar tab, not like a web tab. So I think you know all of that context. We created a new new array list of products and then adding it. Finally, session.set attribute. And otherwise, if it's already there, we are getting it and then adding it to the product. And then finally, looks like we are not giving any model here. We are directly putting into the session. And do we need these two lines?
No.
What is the view here?
Shopping cart.
Precisely.
Model and view.
Like that.
Okay.
Right? And then we don't need model and view because we are not using any of it. So just say string. It will automatically. That's it. Understand? How much Spring MVC is simplifying our life? Right? And now it will be forwarded to shoppingcart.jsp. So let's look at shoppingcart.jsp and see if we need to make any changes here. What are we doing here actually? For each shopping cart product, okay, product.name, product.type, okay. This one just will change this to eShop 5, cart, product ID, add to cart, okay. We are just adding it. And then if you want to shop more, go to /eShop 5, eShop checkout. Okay, we didn't deal with the checkout, but we are making changes incrementally, right? So now, it's already started. Let me do a restart here. We made a lot of changes. Good. Now, Gone with the Wind, add to cart. Sure. Do you want to shop more? Yeah. And then Apple Watch Gold. Yeah. Yes, please. One more. So it's working exactly like before. Much elegant code, much elegant, much simpler, much terser. shorter code and much testable code, highly cohesive code, loose coupling. It's your code is more testable now, right? There you go. Now we converted two servlets into two controllers now. Now, any questions? Are we all on the same page? Everybody here?
Yes.
Good. Everyone? Is that the same answer for everyone?
Yes, for me.
Before we move on, anything you need me to talk? Okay. Now, what's the next step? Let's take out this guy. I think we're done with the shopping cart servlet, so let's take out this guy. Let's delete this guy because we already converted to shopping cart controller. And now, the last one is checkout servlet.
Checkout servlet.
Let's take a close look at it. Now, what are we doing here? We're getting a session, and we're getting the whole shopping cart, and then calculating the order amount, and generating the order number and order, and then we're getting the context, and then service.place order, session.remove attribute, request.set attribute. Okay, we are actually putting that order so that your order confirmation.jsp can display the order details. Sure. All of this can easily be converted, right? So checkout controller, right? And now are we doing a get here? Yes, we are doing a get. Okay. And now, since these methods, see all these while, I will wait.
Here is do post also.
No, I'll hold my thought on that. No, there is no do post here, right? See here? So I'll hold my thought on that. Now I wanted to give you another thought. How about merging all of this? But we will talk about it. We'll take baby steps. So now the last one is checkout controller. Okay. So first of all, it's not a servlet, right? So this is gone. And now this one, no more extends HTTP servlet. We don't like that. And this is a simple web controller. No more. And okay. Now here, which URL is this responding to? Your checkout servlet is responding to /checkout. Good. That's all we need. So if anybody calls, this is going to be public. Okay, and model and view. And then what are we doing here actually? Checkout, right? That's all. Why not give a proper name? All these while servlet has been insisting us it has to be a do get do post, do get do post. But now sky is the limit. Go for as good names as possible. Whatever makes sense. Now at request mapping. /checkout. And now, do we need this? We'll worry about it later. If we need it, we know Spring MVC can magically give us that. Very good. Now tell me, do we need this HTTP servlet request? Why do I need this HTTP servlet request?
HTTP session, right?
I need the HTTP servlet request to get the session. Okay? So I don't need it. So I'll ask my God Spring MVC saying that, hey,
HTTP session
servlet, please give me the session. Okay, session is magically injected into us. Now, finally, order service. Do I need to load the whole Spring config XML and get myself? Since Say the same sentence one more time. Since checkouts controller is a Spring Manager
Auto
bean,
wired private auto service
your
service.
order service
Order service.
service will be injected automatically, right? Now, you got your from session, you got the shopping cart, you got the products here, and then you are calculating the order amount. This is all your business logic. You're generating the order number, creating the new order, but you don't need to do this one. You don't need to do this one. Your service is injected here. You're placing the order, and then you are removing from the session because you're done from it. This is another way of removing it from session, like we talked about earlier. Okay, once you created the order, you place the order and then remove from the session, and then finally, what are we doing here? What is this order here?
You are setting for the view
Right?
attribute.
What is this called? What is this called in model view controller pattern?
Add object
It's a
view.
view.
What
Model.
is it called in model view controller? It's
It's
called,
a view.
come on, Sailaja.
Sorry, it's model. We are setting model. Model to.
I will
Yes.
quit teaching, okay? At this point, we are towards the end, and if you say that's the view, then I'll have to resign. That's model, right? This is the view,
Yes.
right? So we need both model and view. So what do we need here? What object do we need? Model and view object
Model view.
equal to new
Model
model and
view.
view,
New
right?
model and view.
And we can say model and view dot set view name.
Set view name.
What is the view name?
Order confirmation.
And then add object, yes. What is the view name?
Order
Order
confirmation.
confirmation, and everything else will be appended automatically. We know that, right? This is the order confirmation. And then add object. Tell me, what do we have to do here?
Order and order. Attribute
Yes.
name is order.
Your attribute name is this, uppercase order, and then your value is your order object, right? That's it. And then what do we do? Request dot set attribute. Nope, we don't do that. We don't do that. We don't do that. And then finally, return model and
Return.
view.
Model and view.
Right? How beautiful that one is. I'm removing these unused imports. How do I remove unused imports? Control Shift O. Organize imports. Make your code as clean as possible. I'm a big fan of clean code, and clean code is one of the best books that every developer must read. I think I told you guys. If not, then you must have this book in your bookshelf. Clean code, refactoring, and few other books. Okay. That's it. We're done. How elegant and testable code are we writing? Now, let's make sure we got everything. Let's make sure we got covered with the order confirmation. Let's go to order confirmation. Okay, we'll do eShop 5 here. No big deal. And then your order has been placed and your order number is order number. Beautiful. Since it's going to be dispatcher server is going to put it in request scope automatically because we said, hey, this is my model, please do that. And then it will automatically do it. But if you really look at it, I don't like these 3 lines. I hope you're okay. If we simplify this guy, there is a different constructor that takes the view name directly. We don't need, so we can reduce this one. Okay. And then let me see. I thought there is one more constructor where, take a look at it. It can take the map also, model and view name, but it doesn't help much. I mean, I want to reduce some. See this one? Look at the third one. If you have just one model, Look at it. Your view name, model object. In one single line, we can create the model and view, right? This is your view name. This is your model name with which your model is going to be bound and your actual object. So you're going to do, this is your view name, and then this is your model name, right? Sorry, this is your model name. And then this is your model object. That's it. And then can anyone tell me if I need these two lines or I can inline something? Do I need two lines there?
You can just return model and
How?
view. Yeah, like that.
Return new model and view. Simple. It's even simpler. I hope that's not a whole lot of confusion. But we have used other styles here. We have used other styles here in other, sorry. We have used other styles here, but let's use the simplistic approach here also. Simplistic approach, let's do it here. So we took out good 3-4 lines of code and then replaced it with one line of code. Especially if you have one model, this is perfect. But if you have multiple models, then you have to say model and view equal new model and view dot add object. That's it. Hey, we are done. We are done transforming everything into Spring MVC. That has been my dream for the last several months. So we did it. Okay. Sure. And then if you're done shopping, yeah. E/checkout. Let's restart this guy. Did I see any exception here? Oh, okay. Write about exception, not serializable, com eShop DAO.product. Oh, earlier I got error here. Okay, because I was in the middle. Let's see. I'll clear this guy, and I believe I just did restart. So let me start the app. Cool. I started the app. Very good. I want to add, what did I buy? iPhone 6 Plus. Yeah, why not? Gone with the Wind. Did I add Spring in Action? Gone with the Wind, iPhone 6 Plus, Spring in Action. If you're done shopping, go ahead. Done. Your order has been placed. See here, pros inserted equal 1. Your order has been placed and your order number is blah. If you have any questions, please contact 1-800 number. Or please reference this order number. Yep. And click here to go to home page. Piece of cake. Okay. Now, after the last step, any questions, any confusion? We did not even use the Spring Form yet. The Spring Form tag library, we did not use it, but we are familiarizing ourselves with the model and view and all of these other styles. And then next step is to enter into that area. Any confusion? Anyone?
I have a question.
Absolutely. First,
About
let
the
me delete this guy.
dependency.
First, let me delete this checkout servlet. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, about the dependency means what dependency and where can we use this one is problem for me.
I did not get the question. Can you ask again?
Means we can use all of dependency, right?
Dependency injection, you mean?
No, in POM XML and
Oh,
this one.
you're talking about Maven. I'm sorry. Okay, in POM XML, you specify the dependencies. Yes, Madhavi.
So I am confused. Means when and where, which dependency we can use. So that's the problem for me.
Yeah, that's a problem for everybody. That's a problem for me too. Okay, so no worries there. Meaning, we all decided. Let's say, let's say, I've never used a framework. Let's say I've never used a framework called JSF.
Okay.
Okay, Java Server Faces. So we, as a team, we decided, hey, let's go with the JSF. We wanted to use it. Now, in order to use it, obviously, I need those libraries. I need those dependencies, right? I depend on something in JSF, but what version of JSF? I have no clue because I've never used it. And what do I need as a dependency? I have no clue because I've never used it. So we don't have any other option but to read about it and go to your central Maven repository or other places and say that, hey, I want to use JSF. What do I need here? Right? So here, I've never used it. So you go here and then look at it. Org, you have a couple of them. Let's say there is a JSF implementation called Prime Faces. Prime Faces, no? What other? Any JSF is fine, right? Okay. Org Ajax for JSF. Let's say we want to use this component. Okay. Ajax for JSF. It's inside the JSF. There is a specific component. Okay. Don't think I've been using it. I've never heard of it. I've never used it. So no worries. I'm just telling you how to approach the problem. That's all here. So just click on all. Okay. Take a look at it and read more about it to start with first. And then once you decided, okay, I'm comfortable, I want to use it. Just click on this POM. So this guy is the model name, group ID, artifact. You need group ID, artifact, version number. You can get it from here, or you just simply click on this key here, and then your central Maven repository will give you this. Simple. Copy, paste as is. Like that. Like that. You got it?
Yes.
So it's that simple. Let's say use a log4j. It's one of the component that we typically use it for logging. Okay, we have never used it, so we need dependency. First of all, that is the first step we need it. So let's search for it, log4j. So org Apache logging log4j. Sure, show me all the versions. Okay, there are a lot of versions. Looks like 2.3 is the latest one. First, you read about log4j and read about this 2.3, whether you need 2.3 or anything. Generally, go for the latest version, right? And here, all you need to do is just click on this guy. It tells you what is the group ID, what is the artifact ID, and what is the version number. You just bring it and then put it as a dependency here without knowing anything. That's it. And you can start using it. Now, the next step is how do you configure this log4j? That's the next step. And that one you have to read on it. Getting it? So that's how you get the dependency. Make sense? Madhavi?
Yes, I got it. Thank you.
No problem. So we completely converted our eShop application to Spring MVC, which is a great step. So now we introduced a lot of Spring MVC concepts, except the Spring Form tag library, which we have not used it, right? So let's go ahead and use it. So let's go to home page, right? For a second. Let's go to home page. We are welcoming with all of these products. Hey, you can buy all of these products and all we are saying, right? So here we will put first time to, if you are the first timer, please sign up here. Once he clicks on sign up, we will take him to a page where he will enter all of his details. And then once he submits it, we will take all of his details and we will take all of his details, insert into the database. That's a simple add. Okay. We can take a look at it, how we can use Spring Form tag library there. Okay. Yeah, we can do an add there, but how can we do an edit? How can we do an edit is what I'm thinking. To be able to do edit, we need here something. So, or we can say, just for the simplicity's sake, we can say that, hey, do you want to edit? Click on me. Okay, once I click on it, but we need his customer ID. Let's say, yeah, we'll take his customer ID somehow on a simple text field, and then we will load all of his details for editing if he wants to change something. Is it a good plan? Or any other thoughts? Any other simple things? I can definitely take your suggestions. Is that a fair deal? Yeah, we're adding a new customers here. If we have the login page, probably, yeah, we can actually do the login page also. We can definitely do the login page also, but it's going to be good 1.5 hour coding. Are you all up for that? You need 5 minutes break?
5 minutes, okay, but 1.5 hours is also fine.
Yes.
Wonderful. Let's take 5 minutes break. Okay. So what is the first step here? So we'll say, hey, welcome to eShop. In the home page, we'll say, we'll provide all these products and everything, right? And then we'll say towards the bottom, are you here for the first time? If so, sign up. If not, log in, right? If not, log in. Yeah. Let's do that. So where do I make that change?
Should we say it here? Venkat, should we say it here or should we say it on the shopping cart model view? Because there by that time we might have selected all the products.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Excellent point, Jyoti. I think because you don't need to sign up to add to the cart anyway. Do you want to shop more? Yeah. And then check out. Okay. E. So currently, when we check out, so once we check out, if he's not logged in,
yeah, here maybe we can say, are you returning customer, or we can send it back to another model
right?
view.
So what we can do is, if you are done shopping, please click here, right? Once we, once he clicks on it, what we'll do is we will take him to a page where he will enter his username and password. Okay? he will enter the username and password. Is that okay? And there we will say that if he already has a username and password, he will submit it. But if he's first timer, he will click on another link. There we will take him to sign up. I like this. Everyone likes this? Shall we do it that way? Okay, if you're done shopping, please click. So let's go to, once we click on this one, we'll go to shopping cart, right?
No.
Is it? No, checkout controller. So in checkout, we are getting all of this and calculating the order amount. No, right? So now what we will do is in checkout, once he clicks on checkout, we will blindly take him to the login page, right? So we will blindly take him to login page. And then, so let's not do the real checkout. This is a real checkout, right? So what do we put it here? We'll do a real checkout / real checkout or something. We'll think about it. Public string forward to login, right? What are we doing? What is the main functionality there? Once you click on it, take it to login page, right? Then why do we have to put it to login / login, right? So why not, once we click on it, let's not take him to /checkout. Let's not take him to /checkout. Maybe that's a better idea. So what I'm thinking is that
We can use a login controller. No.
exactly. So what I'm saying here is that, do you want to shop more? Yes. If you are done shopping, /eshop5 and then /login. Okay? This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, we can create login controller and then login
Everybody-
JSP.
Yep, I agree. Everybody is okay with this one? /login?
Yes.
Everybody is okay? Okay. Go ahead.
Yes, Venkat.
We'll create a login controller here. Login controller. And then we'll say, this is @controller, right? And then public string empty page, right? Empty form. I mean, login form. We need login form, right? So, and then @request mapping for /login, right? So if somebody comes with a /login and HTTP GET, then we want to take him to empty form. Okay? Empty form method is okay, or you want to call something else? Right? And then we'll say return login.
Login for?
Yeah, just return login.jsp. We'll take him to login.jsp, right? Antenna, agree?
Yeah.
Now we'll take him
Yes.
to login.jsp. JSP file. Login.jsp. Good. So here, what do? We will provide him with username and password, right? We will provide him with the username and password. At
So
this
we
point,
can enter your username and password and then
sure.
No, maybe we can say like if you are a returning customer, enter your username and password. If you are a new customer, we have to click on another one which will take to the sign up page where we will have another form.
Yep. If you're a returning customer, please enter your username and password. Please log in. That's good enough. Please log in, right? Okay. Now, Now, what do we do? Form. Form, action, blah. I'm still not using Spring Form for this one. I'll tell you why. Input.
Input type is equal to text.
Input type equal to text. Name equal to
Name equal to
username.
username.
And here we'll say that username. Okay.
And break.
Like that, right? And then we'll say password. And then type equal to not text actually, type equal to password. If we say input type equal to password, then what happens is if you enter something, it will show as stars. Okay. And then finally.
Venkat, suppose the user leaves one of the field as empty. Is there any attribute that we can implement in input type as like required? I don't remember. Is there anything like required?
In HTML5, there is they introduced.
I think required is introduced.
Yes, they introduced something called required, probably not coming up here. Okay. In HTML5 though, that's the almost cutting edge, right?
Yep.
So, but we can do the server-side validation. We will talk about that. Spring MVC makes life much easy with server-side validation. I'll introduce that in the next class.
Okay.
If I don't think we'll have time, but okay, and then submit. Okay, let's see how it looks now. Looks so far. Let's restart this guy and am I going too fast?
But when we will give the username and password?
We'll talk about that. Now first, let's get that page and see, right? If you're done shopping, add one more. If you're done shopping /login. Oh, good. Username. If you're a returning customer, please log in. Test. And then password. See, when I enter the password, it is putting that dots or stars, right? So that is actually done by, it's not visible to me because type equal to password. That's why.
So that's what you're pre-populating, right?
No. I'm not pre-populating anything here, right? These are empty.
No, what you're saying, star?
Yeah, as I type here, I'm typing here.
Oh, okay.
I'm typing here. I'm typing show one here, but you can't see it.
Because this is the password.
Because type equal to password.
Type equal to password, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So that's it. So we got it. And I know it looks little ugly. Probably we need something called a div. Let's see if we put a div, if we wrap this guy with a div. Div is a small container. Okay. A div is a container. Not much help. Or div. Yeah, we have the div. Div did not help much to make it look any better. If you're a returning customer, actually, let's break it a couple of times. We can use div also. Div comes with the break automatically. Okay. And then after username, probably, yeah, the spacing is not good. I agree. So, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one. Later, yeah, we can do a table, Monica. But later, actually, we are going to talk about. I'll introduce something called Bootstrap. That's one of the UI frameworks. Just by introducing Bootstrap framework, your overall page appearance will be much better. So that's why I'm not spending a whole lot of time right now. Okay.
Venkat, before you leave this topic,
Yeah.
what did you say that div does?
Container. Meaning div is just a basket. Within that you can put it. But div comes with a break naturally.
But if I don't give div, what will happen?
Nothing happened actually in this case. What
Oh, okay.
In this case, nothing happens actually. Div is a container, like your whiteboard. You can write anything on it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Within the div, you can put some stuff. That's my point. So you have various sections, right? In HTML, you have sections, right? So let's go to Best Buy. So let's say you have these sections here, right? So I'll call this an appliance sales section. This is iPad sales section. This is a new game release section. So each one can be a div. And then within that div, you will add all of these images and everything. So if you want to get handle on something like an image here, then you can say, hey, can you give me on this div 2, okay, on this particular div, can we give me the image? You can say that.
Okay, no problem.
In W3,
Can we use
it's
at least
one of the
one
core
image here?
Sorry?
Can we use any image?
We can definitely. Where? We can use here.
Yeah, some.
We are.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely we'll do it. But let's get the basic stuff going.
Okay.
Okay. So all the HTML stuff, I'll only refer you to W3 schools because I will not talk much. But I'll definitely introduce you to Twitter Bootstrap. That actually makes your overall look and feel better these days. Okay, you have the username and you have the password. And once you click on submit, where do we do? Now action equal to slash eShop5 slash login, right? And then method equal to
Post.
Yep, method equal to post, right? So now where do we say that? Actually, let me put this guy as H3 or something. It may look slightly better. Okay. I don't want all of this, but this is the reason. H3 came with some spacing. You don't need breaks here actually. H3 itself came with a couple of breaks. Did you see that? So we don't need that break. So if you're returning customer, please log in and then enter username and password. And then after the submit, if you are another H3 with a different with style, color equal to blue, we'll just say that if you are first timer, please click here, right? That here is going to be inside anchor tag, right? Like that. Let's see how it looks. Yes, if you're first timer, please click here. Because we didn't put any href yet. So anchor tag should have a href. Where do we take him? Slash eShop5 slash sign up. Is that okay?
Yes.
Please click here. Or if you think this color is not good, Mhm.
Just give some hexadecimal role. That would be.
Sorry, you said something, Antenna?
No, instead of the solid colors, you just probably use some, or just, okay, that's fine, that's fine.
Okay. If you're a first timer, please click here. Once you click on it, it takes you to /signup, which we have not implemented. In fact, that is the main deal here, right? We want to implement /signup here, right? Any questions so far? So what do we do after, actually, let's fill some gaps here. So I'm the customer and I bought 3 books here, okay? And if you're done shopping, please click here. So what do we do here? After he enters the username and password, what do we say? After submit, what should happen? Now shall we take him to the checkout? If the login is good,
It should go to the database and compare.
the
Compare with
username and password, how we compare it, it's up to us. Okay, we'll compare it with the username and password. Let's
I
say,
thought that could be your question.
but after submit, if the username and password are correct, what do we do?
We will just take them back to the
Order.
yeah shopping cart.
Checkout screen.
We'll take them to checkout screen. Checkout currently does not have a screen, so do we have to show everything? Where do we have currently? These are the things that we bought. Okay, probably here, right? Cart, /cart, right?
Shopping cart.
So
Yeah,
we can say, oh, we don't have any cart. Okay. How about cart /show or something, and then we'll display all of this? If you're done shopping, please click here. We come here, username and password, I entered it. Okay, and then submit. Let's do a login. Once I submit here, let's do a login controller. Let's go there. And then what do I have to do now?
Validate the username and password.
Exactly. Validate username and password. So I'll call it validate. And then, can anyone tell me, not regularly speaking people? Anyone? Venkat Krishna. Can you tell me what do I have here? At request mapping / anyone? /login? Anyone? Value equal to /login and method equal to
Request method dot post.
request method dot post. So what does it mean here?
No.
What does it mean?
Means when we give the password and username.
Validate method will be called. Validate method will be called on /login with HTTP post, which is coming from here. See here, we're doing a post and we are doing a /login, right? Now we get the username and password, right? Now, how do I get the username and password into my validate method as request parameters?
Request param?
Yes. At request param. At request param, string username. Because if the parameter name is same as this guy, then I don't need to put it. And then one more request param.
String password.
Very good. Like that, right? Now I got the username and password. Now, what is the next thing I should do? I should validate with the database, right? But I'm not validating with the database. If I say, I'll just put some dummy logic. I'll say, if it is test, If username is test and password is test, that is good. Because my goal is not actually to check, right? My goal is not really to check that. Okay, if you are test and test, what do I do? I'm good, right? I'm valid. Where do I take him now? So
Can we
Slash
change the
card.
username is test, password is test, then take him to the success scenario, else take him to error scenario. Okay, take him to error scenario. So take him
Venkat,
to,
is it a good idea to write this username password like this, or you'll put it in a variable and like write?
otherwise, how do we get it? You have to accept HTTP servlet request here and then say request dot get parameter, right? You have to do a request dot get parameter of
Yeah,
username,
correct.
string username equal request dot get parameter of username, string password equal request dot get parameter of password. You have to do all of that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is why I did it simply like this.
Okay, yeah, that's just for the short term. But one thing I want to know, see, even if you did with request.get parameter,
Mhm.
you know, with that, what's that called? That other, the new this thing browser, Google's what?
Chrome.
Google Chrome. See, in Google Chrome, you showed us how to really go and intercept a message and look what's inside that.
Right.
So in request.get parameter, those kinds of passwords and usernames would be stored over there, and if we could go in and could we see it through
Yep, you can definitely
Developer tool.
you can definitely see them in Google Developer Tools. You can't say that. That's why there are a lot of techniques. There are a lot of techniques to hide them. We do a lot of hashing, etc. But that's different and completely different topic.
Different area.
Yeah, that's completely different area. So if test and test, okay, then what do we do?
Then we go forward with
No.
with our.
Then we have to take them back to the shopping cart page where he will click, because he can check what are all the products, and then he can click on.
Jyoti, you mean what are the products? Means what products he has purchased, right?
Yeah, because before purchasing, he was clicking on returning customer and
Returning
then
customer. Yeah.
username and password. So we
Correct,
have
correct.
Right.
Got it,
What do we call that page as? What do we call
slash
that page?
cart, I guess.
Sorry?
I,
Summary? Order summary?
yeah.
Is that what we're saying?
Slash cart. I think slash cart is a good name.
Not the URL. I'm saying the JSP name here, right?
Okay, okay.
Where we specify the order summary, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So we'll take him to order summary.jsp page, right? Otherwise, where do we take him if the username and password fails? Anyone?
On the same page itself, we can throw an error.
Absolutely. What page is that?
login page?
Right? Yes. So this is what we do. Did everyone understand this this code here?
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Very good. So what's the next step? We'll build the order summary. Yeah. We'll build the
But
order
if
summary, right?
password
We need to
and
build the order
username
summary.
is incorrect, then there is any error message.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later. But let's talk about the happy scenario. Happy path is order summary, right? So let's build the order summary page. In fact, we have been talking about this order summary page for some time, right? We initially, when we designed itself, right?
Correct. Actually, we wrote the code also for that.
Oh, you wrote the code also.
Yeah, for the sign up and
Right. Maybe I'll borrow that. Let's see. Here is your order summary, right? Okay. If you're satisfied, If you are satisfied, please proceed. Please confirm it, right? Or something like that, right? Or you don't need it probably. This is maybe redundant. Now we'll show the details, right?
Please confirm.
Sure. Order summary, please confirm. Yeah. Confirm. So how do we display it? And probably in shopping cart we can, nope. Can we borrow? Right? We can borrow the same code, right? We can borrow the same code. So we can borrow the same code. We can borrow the same code. And now this is going to be C. We need this tag lib, right? And now, oops, did I put it in? Yeah. Oh, I put it in order confirmation. I'm sorry. Let's close this guy. I'm already getting confused with these many pages. Okay, we got C. So finally, here is your order summary. Please confirm name, type, price, name, type, price, and then we'll take this guy out, right? Right? We'll show name, type, price, all of this, and then finally we will say that we'll provide a small link to confirm this one, right? href equal to slash eshop5. Anyone? Slash. Now the final checkout, right? Now we'll say slash checkout, and then we'll say big confirm. Final confirmation, right? Anyone confused with this one? We already have shopping cart in session. We don't need to do anything. It's already there in session, and we are in the same session, right? That is why I'm leveraging the session, whatever is there in session. I'm just utilizing it. Everyone understand that?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to, I start.
I didn't get that.
You didn't get that? Yeah, I think I'll show you with, probably this is a good example, Uma. So I'll show you with an example. See here, this is the first page, right? I bought this book, and yes, I want to do more shopping. I bought this guy. Yes, I want to do more shopping, and yes, I bought this one. Okay, if you're done shopping, please click here. Now, I said test and test, right? Once I do the test and test, submit. So here, my point is that once I click on test and test, we went to the login.jsp, right? Uma? And everyone. So here,
yeah.
Once I entered my test and submitted, it went to the login controller with the post. And now my username and password, my validation is successful. So I'm sending it to the order summary. But I'm not giving whatever the products that this user bought it. I'm not giving, understand this, the statement, every one of you. I'm not giving here, before submitting to order summary, before forwarding to the order summary JSP page, I'm not giving all the products that have been purchased by the user. I'm not giving the model. But how is he able to iterate through it, and how is he able to display all the products that he bought it? How could he do that? Because every time you add something, you are adding to the session here, right? See here?
Yeah.
You are adding to the
Session.
session. So it is already there in the session. So in my login page, I don't have to get it from session and putting it again, because as long as my session is valid, all the objects that are in the session are going to be visible to me wherever I go. Meaning I click on 100 buttons, still my all products, my shopping cart will be available for me, is my point. As long as my session is valid, my shopping cart, all I have to do is just say session.get attribute shopping cart, it will give it to me. That is the beauty of the session, because whatever the objects that you put it in session scope are going to be valid until the session gets invalidated one way or the other. Understand it, everyone?
Yeah.
Uma,
Yeah.
did you understand that?
Yeah, got it.
In the login controller here, before forwarding it, I'm not just getting from the session and then putting it to the request scope or anything. No, I don't have to, because in the C colon for each, it not only looks in request scope, the shopping cart, right? Okay, it looks for the name shopping cart in not only request scope, it will check in every single scope. First, it will check in the page scope if there is any object with the shopping cart. If so, it will use that one. If not, then it will use it will go check in the request scope to see if any object exists. If not, then it will go to session scope. If not, it will go to context scope. It will check in every context. You got it?
Yeah.
So that's the beauty. And now I know this does not look good. We have to probably make it look better. How do we do that? This is order summary, and then
That's okay. I mean, like, yeah,
no,
we
I'll
can
put
skip
some
that part, the
styles.
aesthetics of it.
Now we just have to copy the table styles and
Exactly. And then it's a bad idea that I'm duplicating everywhere. Okay, ideally that should not be the case. We'll talk about that later. What, this one? Do you want to shop more? Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we can use some kind of view and probably use as a template and populate. Is that what you mean? Kind of, inheriting, having a certain
Yes.
template, and then
There is a concept. There is a concept called cascading style sheets, CSS. Okay, in HTML and in front-end technologies, you have HTML, you have CSS, you have JavaScript. You have three things, right? So there is something called CSS. See, I put it here, right? I rather take out all of this and put it in its own CSS file. I will say that eshop.css, meaning cascading style sheet. I'll put it here, and magically every table, every TD, every TH will get this one. But you can be very specific also. Hey, in the order confirmation table, this is how the style should be. In the checkout page, this is how the style should be. You can do all of that. Okay. So we will talk about that in front-end course. I mean, whenever that class is, I'll talk about that. And we will improve it. Definitely we will improve it. And we will put, I know you have been eagerly waiting for images to be shown. Probably the very next class we'll put some images there. Let's think about it. Okay. And let's add color to our eShop application so that it looks more colorful rather than boring screens, right? So here is your order summary. Please confirm. Now confirm. Wow, look at it. Everything worked magically. Right? Now you go back to the home screen. Keep adding, keep adding, keep adding, keep adding. That's it. If you're done shopping, please click here. Of course, now I'll give test 1, 2, 3. and then test. And now I'll submit. It brought me back to the same page saying that it brought me back to the same page. Okay. I know I did not put any error message, and that is why no error message is shown, but as is, it is returning back to, it's going to else block, and it's sending me to the login page, and in the login page, again, the same stuff until I do proper username and password. This is good username and password. Okay. And how do we capture the error messages and everything? We will talk about that later, because I'm still going to talk about the validation part in Spring MVC. I have not talked about it yet. In fact, I was planning on doing that today, but I took up this task. I hope this helps. Are you getting more familiarity now to Spring MVC? Yeah, because this is where you spend
Venkat, what is
most
this
of your
validation you said?
Yes.
like a username and password, like a front end, right?
Oh, that valid.
Username is required, password is required. Username should be 5 characters, password should be 6 characters. You know, your the phone numbers can contain only digits, etc., etc.
Okay, that's a triviality of logic. I think we can skip that, right?
No. That's very important part actually.
But will it involve anything pertaining to MVC, anything pertaining to web technology that we are learning?
Yes.
Okay.
Spring MVC actually enhances all of that.
Okay. Then
Before it gives you the fully loaded model object, okay, it will actually validate it. If there are any results, then it gives you the, if there are any errors, it gives you those errors, everything, and you can control it however you want to. So it's definitely important, no doubt. We can't skip that.
Okay, yeah, then fine.
Yeah, and also we need to validate it according to the entered values into our DAO tables also, correct? So some cases phone number, we might be entering it in some other manner, and then social security numbers, etc.
Right. Yep. Agree. That's why it's a very important topic, I'm saying. I mean, very meaning not very, but it's one of the topics. That's all. Okay. So which part are we missing now? If you're done shopping, please click here. I'm not the first timer. I don't have the username and password. If you're first timer, please click here. So now we need to
Sign up form.
exactly. We need to write the sign up controller, right?
And also we will be incorporating some code to update the user profile, correct?
We'll see. Definitely, that has to be done. But let's see. Sign up is one word or 2 words? Sign up controller, and then I'll say add controller, right? Probably this is the longest coding session that we have in the recent days. Is that right? We wrote a lot of code today, right? Now, public string empty form, I believe, empty sign up form. If somebody calls me with /sign up, hey, nobody is thinking I'm going fast, right?
No, it's okay.
Everyone.
Fast, yeah, for me it's always fast. But point is, well, I mean, it's okay.
Okay, I mean, it's reasonable, right?
Yeah. For me, you were fast means what? That might be my fault. I'm not fully paying attention, maybe. But it's okay.
As you guys are understanding, yeah, you can't be perfect here in the class. And when I'm typing, I think when you are watching, you get the feeling this is a piece of cake. Right? But once you start typing, that's when
Yeah,
things get.
everything looks okay.
Here, actually, as long as I'm typing, everything looks simple. Everything looks. I know. I heard that comment from. I mean, a lot of my batches, a lot of times, it's same thing. You know, same thing with me. So slash sign up HTTP get will take me to sign up JSP, right? Other JSP file dot JSP sign up. Very good. So here, this is where we will use. This is where we'll use our Spring form, right? Yeah, one day you'll get there, definitely, Uma. So Spring form, right? So let me import the Spring form. Spring MVC.
Is there any specific reason that we did not go with the Spring form in the returning customer? And why we are implementing it with the sign up?
That's a good point. Mainly because we didn't talk about the validation part yet. And we are only talking about two fields. That is why. Okay.
Okay.
So I need a. Did everyone understand Jyoti's question?
Say it again, Jyoti.
In the login page, I was hoping that somebody would ask that question she asked. See here, why we did not use Spring form here, okay? What's the reason behind that? Why did you go for simple, boring HTML form? Why didn't we use the fancier version of Spring form? Okay, I was about to actually, but I quickly changed my mind. And then we will again introduce it once I talk about the validations, but I'll tell you my reasoning. I'll tell you what was going on in my head. So I need to bind this username and password to a model object, right? So for that, I need a model here. I don't have a model that encompasses or that encapsulates username and password at this point. That is why I took simple and easy route. But in the case of customer, there is no way I can do it because I have 10 fields. Okay.
Yeah.
And I need proper validation. And in the case of editing a customer, I want all of this to be pre-populated. In fact, I'm going to gain the value here also, but that is why we will revisit and change this one also once we talk about the validation. Okay, so that is why I took an easy route for now for this class. Okay. But can I take the easy route for customer? Can't you take the easy route? I can't. The reason is I have 10 fields and I don't want to code that much here. I want my customer object to be fully loaded and given to me by my dispatch servlet. That is the reason. Did you get it, Jyoti?
Yes.
Convinced?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, where did we code? Last time we did it in Spring MVC 1, Feb 2015. Is that what it is?
Yes, this one. There is a customer.
Add customer. Sweet. So I'll get this guy to sign up. I get my tag library. And the next is this whole guy. I don't like that formatting, so I'm not formatting it. Okay. That's it, right? Now I can close every project, I believe, except the one I'm working on, which is eShop 5. So
And the sign up controller also their post method, right?
slash eShop 5 slash customer slash add. Okay, we can take this slash customer slash add method post or slash sign up. Huh? We can say slash customer slash add, or what do we say, slash sign up. Slash sign up post model attribute equal to customer, right?
Yep.
SF input first name, last name, city, state, zip code. Now, first of all, do we have an object called customer? Do we have an object called customer? Yes.
Yes, I
Yes.
have customer.
Very
customer
good.
Java.
Very good. So I'm really glad we have it.
But we are missing that ID.
Yes, we'll get there. We'll get the first name. We'll get the last name. We'll get the address. Address, okay. And then city. State is good. Zip code is good. Okay. That's it. Very good, right? So once you submit, what does Spring MVC do? Dispatcher servlet does? What does it do? Anyone? Once I submit, what does it do?
It's a validation.
think it will look for the eShop sign up.
No, we are already here. We are already here. We went to the sign up, slash sign up. We went to slash sign up. So we came here to this JSP page. And here, once I submit here, it's going to take the model attribute, okay, and take all of this first name, last name, address, city, state, zip code, and it is going to populate all of this information into your model attribute. How? By calling the setter method, set first name, set last name, set address, set city, set state, set zip code, and it's going to give you the fully loaded customer object to your controller. Understand? And now we need a sign up, right? Slash sign up with HTTP post. So slash sign up value equal to slash sign up and then method equal.
Method equal to request method dot post.
Got it. Oops, sorry, request method. Like that, right? And then real sign up. This guy is a real sign up, right? And now, what do we say here?
We will give customer object.
Yes. Yes, we'll get the fully populated customer object, right? We'll get the fully populated customer object. In fact, here it works even though you have not given, but you can explicitly, you can give it like this, model attribute, and then you can give the name. You say that, hey, give me the model attribute with this name. This is how you explicitly say that. There is a model attribute with the name customer, okay? Sorry, here. There is a model attribute with the name customer. Please give that to me as an argument here. You can explicitly say that, but even without giving it, it works. Okay? Now, you got the fully loaded customer object. So what do we do now?
Then print system.
What do we do? What do we do? How do we save them? Private, customer service, right?
Yes.
service, and this customer service will be automatically injected by your Spring, and then you just do a service dot create or add. Yeah, we didn't have it.
Add.
We don't have. Looks like we don't have a method. We have it in DAO, but we don't have it here. So let's add public add.
Customer.
Okay, we have it in DAO. DAO dot, I think create customer. That's it. And then we'll say, oops, sorry. Oh, that's it. We don't have an interface. So that's good. Your customer service will be fully populated, and you just say that service dot add a customer. That's it. And then finally, where do you want to send him back? You want to send him back probably now to the login page, right? Because his profile is created with us. Now he should be able to log in. Is everyone in agreement with that?
Yes.
Right? So send him to login page. And then he will enter his username and password there. Everyone on the same page? Now, let's try the signup.jsp. I think everything is looking good except one small thing. Can anyone tell me? I mean, it's not easy. Let's learn the hard way. Why not? So let me restart this guy. The best way to learn is by facing the problem, solving it, learning it. That's the best way. Okay, let me buy expensive Apple Watch, and then also Spring an action book. If you're done shopping, sure, I'm a first timer. Yeah, please. Anyone? Read the error. Always when you get the exception, always read it. Illegal state exception, neither binding result nor plain target object for bean name customer available as request attribute when it went to the signup.jsp. So let me explain this, but I'm expecting you to fill the gaps here. Here, you said that there is a model attribute called customer, but what does it mean? Model attribute called customer meaning under the hood, it will do a request.get attribute, right? There is no request attribute with the customer name. I'm sorry. So tell me, what do you want me to do here? Or I will take you to sign up controller here. So now tell me what is missing.
We need to set the attribute customer. Sorry.
Exactly. You know how to do that?
Yes, request mapping dot set attribute. My model view, sorry.
Request mapping that set attribute. Huh?
Sorry, model views. I think so.
Exactly. Anyone remember that? So what do we have to do that now?
Yeah, model.
We have to give the
Yes,
empty customer as a model so that your Spring's dispatch servlet will put it into request scope so that it is available for your sign up page. I know half of you did not get this point in the last class. So I wanted to make sure you get that today.
So we will write here new customer.
Let's understand what's going on under the hood. If you understand what's going on, how dispatcher servlet is thinking, the things will be very, very, very easy. In your signup.jsp, okay, maybe I'll step back for a second. In your HTML page, plain simple HTML page, input type equal to text. What does it do? What does it do? Come on.
It is
Input.
creating a text box.
Exactly. It
just
creates a text box. That's all, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
If I put value equal to Sailaja here, what does it do?
Setting attribute as a
pre-populate that text box with Sailaja.
She's right.
Yes.
Jyoti is right. Yes. It will pre-populate the text box with the value Sailaja. Okay? Here, now, did everyone understand this point? The highlighted point here? A simple HTML deal. If not, I'll open up a new HTML and show you what I mean here. But did everyone get it?
But will that be visible?
It is not pre-populated, right, Venkat? It's setting the attributes.
Let's talk. There is no attribute in HTML. Understand that, Sailaja. We are not talking. I'm talking about a plain, simple HTML. But for everybody's sake, let me take a small example. Forget about all of this fanciness. Okay. I'm opening up a small text notepad. Here, I'll say HTML. Okay. Because it is very important to understand this 100%. To be able to really appreciate what's going on there. Okay, form action equal to blah, whatever that one is, method equal to post. Okay, post or get, it doesn't matter really. The point is that okay, first name, input type equal to text, right? And of course name equal to first name, because this is what, with this name it will be sent to the server. We all know that. Hey, everyone is clear with this one? Simple, yes. Simplistic HTML in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Now you're going to open it with your browser, right?
Absolutely. Okay. Now let's go Control O, desktop, simple.html. Is there anything here in the field? You can definitely enter some information here.
What?
Okay. You can definitely do that. But when I came here, is there any value here? Is there any value in the text box?
It's all blank.
It's all blank. Now, I want this to be pre-populated with the value Sailaja. Now, look at it. Let me reload this guy.
Yes.
Understand?
It's a pre-population, yeah.
This is how it's going to be pre-populated. Okay. Now, let me open up that signup.jsp now. Understand here, by using Spring Form tag library, okay, say path, what it does is it will take the modal attribute from the request scope, your customer. So behind the scenes, what it does is request.get attribute of your customer. Once it gets that, it will call .get first name and populate into value. Behind the scenes here, it will populate as value there. It will pre-populate whatever is there. Did you understand now?
Yeah, it's okay. Actually, Jyoti asked this question quite a few sessions ago, so I remember.
I wanted to reiterate again this one,
it's okay.
Especially with this path being because I know half of you guys went home with sort of half-minded because you didn't understand this one. Why are we putting this empty customer there? Didn't get it.
No, we are good with Venkat with this customer attribute.
Okay, Uma, you're asking me to explain one more time. So did you get that?
There's a music coming from somewhere.
So, oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, there is a problem with my mic?
I don't know.
Oh, yours. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so is there a background noise or looking? Okay.
Background.
Hmm.
But now it's gone.
Now it's gone. Okay.
Okay.
Looks like Uma is having some issue with her mic. It seems. I don't know. Okay. Now the point is, when we go to this sign up page, we are giving this model attribute. So we are asking all the customer details to be pre-populated here. But we don't have anything to pre-populate. Yes, that is why you pass an empty customer object as a model, so that it will take it, because we want all of these values to be bound once you click on submit, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to say that, hey, this is my model and view equal to new model and view. Okay, model and view dot set view name with sign up, and then model and view dot add object. We are going to add an object with the name called customer. Then it's going to get that. And then what is the attribute value? We're supposed to give some pre-populated customer, but we don't want to pre-populate any of these text boxes with some values. We want empty text boxes. Okay, then in that case, new customer. Oh, we don't have the default constructor, and we don't have the setters also. Now is the time to change that guy to take the default constructor. Where is my customer object? So let's have a default customer here. Okay, and then there are no setters here, right? So let's add setters here. Look at it. What is the view name? View name is sign up. And then let's return the model and view. Simple. And then change your return type to model and view. That's it. Let's quickly restart this guy. And then let's go to eShop 5. Did you get that? Now let's go to signup.jsp and understand this guy. So here, what dispatch servlet did is it called request.getAttribute with the name customer. Whatever the object that it got, here it called get first name, get last name, get address, get city, get state, get zip code, and put the value here. But all of them, the value is null. So that is why empty here. Everyone understand?
Yeah. Venkat, one thing I'll just recap about Java from you. That is, in Java, if you don't initialize a field, just declare a field, it won't contain memory chunks, right? Like for int, it'll be 0. For string, it'll be space or null, right? Like that, right?
Right.
Okay. Then fine.
It will be initialized. All the objects get initialized to null. Int gets initialized to 0, double gets initialized to 0.0, float gets initialized to 0.0f, and boolean gets initialized to anyone.
True. 1. That is 1 or true.
Anyone.
False.
Anyone. False.
Oh, false.
Not true.
Sorry.
It's
Actually,
definitely
in
not
some languages, they contain memory chunks actually,
okay.
unless you purposely initialize them.
Right.
So that's why.
So now, how many customers do we have in the database? I don't know exactly, but let me add. Let's go and see how many customers we have. Because after this one, probably I'll stop it. So environment, SQL developer. Let's see how many customers we have it, and then let's add a new customer into the database. Is it local OMS, order management system? Sure. And what is the table name? Select star from customers, I believe, or customer.
Customers, yeah, plural, yeah.
Let's take a look at it. If that's true, let's go to customer DAO JDBC impl. Okay, plural. You're right. So only Yuri. We don't have anyone. So let's add Deshikan. Let's add Deshikan. Okay. What's his last name? Deshikan Gudimella. Address 123 Deshikan Street. City. Where
New
are you?
York.
Where? Okay. No, he's in Windsor, exactly. It didn't occur to me. State, some province in Canada. Whatever.
Really?
Ontario, exactly. That's in Ontario. So add customer. Oh,
Inserted one.
insert into customers' values, and let's take a look at it if that's true or not.
Oh yeah, Venkat, I wanted to ask you one thing.
Oh,
At this point, I
One
remember.
second. Let's, because we are in the swing, so let's finish this guy.
Added.
Right? There's no magic in it. So Deshikan details have been added, and then we push them again to the login page. So now he can enter his username and password. One thing we are missing from the design standpoint of view is that customer does not have username and password. Ideally, we should have username and password here, okay, or in a different table. It doesn't matter. To keep things simple.
Actually, we added, we updated Venkat.
Very good. Okay.
So we added username and then password
To this one.
to the customer table. Yes.
Right. So I think it makes perfect sense to take username and password and everything. And now we can integrate the username and password. Once you click on submit here, rather than checking, where is our login controller? Rather than checking simple test and test, we can actually go to the database and see if anybody, how many people are there with the username and password. If it's 0, then we should throw him an error saying that, sorry, boss. Now, I did not cover a single new concept today. Whatever I taught on Thursday, whatever we talked about on Thursday, I did the same thing with another example. Just because of the fact that I know you did not get 100% on a couple of things here. So I thought, and Spring MVC is the most important in my opinion. So we all have to be 100% clear. So mainly that's why I've taken my time. So I'm really hoping that helps. I didn't talk about the topic that I wanted to talk about, which is validation part. I'll talk about that on Tuesday. Does that help? Is that clear? Or I confused you guys more than
Can you
before?
please go to customer.java?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
What do you want me to do? Anything to
No,
you?
no, I just wanted to see this one, the one that we already created, right? Okay.
Oh yeah, we already created this one. We just added.
Yeah,
We just added.
but you said that we need to have all the fields in the object when we.
That is right. So you're saying
Here
ID
we are
we did
not.
not add?
Yeah.
Is that what your confusion?
Yeah.
Okay. ID we don't take it from the front end.
Sequence. It's coming from sequence, right?
We don't take it from the front end, Uma. So what we do in our customer DAO JDBC Impl, if you look at it, when we create an ad, right? When you create the new customer
We'll
here,
just put some
see here,
random.
we'll do the sequence here. Customers underscore sequence dot next well. Remember, sequence is a database object which automatically increments every time you call the next val.
Okay.
We did it for all the primary keys, Uma, like
Yeah.
with the product ID and everything.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Don't feel
It's
bad.
just a recap. I mean, like it's just a recap.
I agree. I agree. We combined
We're all
everything.
I think Uma, you are getting. I think Uma is getting confused. Like in the demo, when we are creating the new customer, where we enter ID as just 1 or 2 or something like that. So that's why.
No, Jyoti, that one is clear because of the sequence it will automatically be generated. But in the last class, I remember, or at least I understood that when we get the object, the whatever the Pojo or whatever to the Spring, we have to imitate all the fields.
We have
That's
to
a fact.
We have to have all the fields that we have in the customer object.
I'll rephrase her question, Venkat. She's asking actually, according to the classical definition of that Pojo thing, we are supposed to have a default constructor where all the fields should be there. And that's what she's insisting actually, which is also a valid question, I think.
Yep. Anyone?
But she's saying that this one defies that definition. You're getting the field from some other place, fine. But the constructor doesn't look like that. That's what she's saying.
In fact, we are not using this constructor.
We're using a default.
Actually, let's step back here. Let's step back. All of us, let's step back for a quick second. Tell me, once I click on submit here, let's walk through the flow, right? Once I click on submit, okay, who takes the control here?
The servlet.
Uma.
Control goes to the servlet. Oh, okay.
Which servlet?
Wherever it's pointing to, I mean, like.
It goes to the sign up controller.
Sign up, yeah.
How does it go to sign up controller?
It goes to the sign up.
It goes to dispatcher servlet first. That's my point.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Correct.
It goes to the dispatcher servlet. Whatever you put it here, okay, in HTML, there is no concept called SF:input. In HTML, you have a simple concept like this. Input type equal to text. Okay, this is what it resolves to. Input type equal to text, name equal to first name, value equal to empty because you have empty. But you entered something. In this case, we Deshikan, right? We entered Deshikan. So now, once we click on submit, all of these are request parameters to a servlet. Correct?
Yeah.
In the old servlet days, request.get parameter of first name will give me Deshikan. Request.get parameter of last name, it will give me his last name, whatever has been entered. Agree? What dispatcher servlet does is it will call. We are not doing all the mundane work now. Dispatcher servlet is doing it for us. So what dispatcher servlet does once you click on submit is that it will take all the request parameters get first name, get last name, first name, last name, address, city, state, zip code. And then it will find the model attribute, which is a customer, right? So what is the type of the model attribute here? Which is a customer object. So what it does is it will call behind the scenes your dispatcher servlet writes the following code. This is what it does. Customer, understand here, C equal to new customer. It's calling the default constructor here, okay? And now it's doing request dot get parameter, okay? And then first name. So it's putting into first name, string first name equal to, okay? And now similarly it does remaining 6 other fields: last name, city, state, zip code, etc. And now once you construct this one, set first name, it will call your setter method, set first name and first name, okay? C dot set last name, C dot set city, it does all of it. And now if at all customer has 100 fields, but here you defined only 6 of them, is there any problem? There is no problem at all. In this context, this is exactly what is happening using, and with reflection, it does this. Set first name, set last name, set city. It will populate all of these fields into your customer model attribute, and it will give you this C now to your sign up controller here. Simple.
As a bean.
That's exactly what dispatcher servlet does as a bean, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So having an ID, having 100 more fields has no impact to it.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else can use it. I have no clue for the fact that there is a field called ID. All I know from here that there is a field called first name. I have to call the set first name method. There is a field called last name. I have to call a set last name. I have a field called address. I have to call a set address. I'll call all of this and then give you the fully populated customer object to you. Behind the scenes, your controller is doing all of this work. You are not doing any of that. Did you get it now?
Okay, yeah. In that sense, the definition of the bin is getting fulfilled. However number of fields you may have, it's you are populating, let's say 5 or 6 of them out of the 100,
okay.
But the rest of the binification is being done by the controller system.
It's a main point here is that if you have a method called set fn to populate first name, I wouldn't know that. You have to follow the Java Bean convention for your fields. That's all. So if you give me a field first name, then I expect a method called set first name like this. Getting it? And I want you to understand something here. Okay. Did everyone understand this one?
Yeah.
Ma?
Yeah.
1000% clear?
Venkat.
Yeah.
Yeah, in customer class customer.java, I gave the set first name, set last name, so it is using that.
Sorry. Oh yes, it is calling this method here. You put a system out here, this will be called. You put a system out here, you will understand that this is being called. This is being called. Okay. This is being called. Absolutely.
And according to bin definition, you have to provide that.
Right. I mean,
you have to provide all the setters.
Because you tell the path is first name, then I expect my method name would be set your field name. The first letter is this one. This is how I determine that this is my method name. If you use something else, I wouldn't know. Agree? Mm-hmm. Everyone?
Yes.
Now the second aspect. Now this is once you submit, right? Now this is the one aspect of it. Now, initially when you load it also, what it does is that initially when you load it, first time,
At that time also it is showing the empty.
it is showing empty, but I'll tell you what exactly it's doing. What it's doing is that since you said model attribute is customer, then it's doing request dot get attribute. It is going to pull the object with the name customer, okay, and it will pull object equal to because it wouldn't know the type because it's all reflection, right, under the hood. That's why you can't do a customer C. Let's say for the simplicity sake, let's say it knows the type, and let's say customer C. Okay. Now, since you said path equal to first name, you know what I do? I'll call the get first name, and whatever the value in the get first name gives me, I'm going to put this as a value and pre-populate it is my point. Did you understand?
Yeah.
Uma, no confusion, right? Is there any confusion?
Yeah, I got it. Sorry, I'm speaking, but sometimes it picks up.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, now do tomorrow and day after several more examples. I'm sure everything will be clear. Okay, let me check in.
Venkat, one question at this point.
Mhm.
That is, while you check in, it's a very easy question. See this SQL prepare statement that you're doing, SQL equal to something, con.prepare statement.
Okay.
Okay, now if I want to display the prepared statement, how do I do it? See, I do prepared.string, something like that, statement.string or something.
Right.
It does show me, but after preparation, it does not give me, I never got it actually.
Right. You have to print the individual
stuff, right?
Yep. You have to populate the individual these individual question mark values. There is no other way.
Yeah. No. After populating, right before doing a statement.execute update, I cannot, before doing that, I cannot see it, right? What it has done. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
The reason you can't do it is because of the concept. Because this is how it will be sent to the database actually. This is exactly how it will be sent to the database.
Oh,
remember that?
okay.
The reason we use prepared statement is to gain some performance. It will not be filled up and sent to the database. If it's a filled up and sent it, we don't have to do it this way. We can do it in regular statement way. We don't have to use prepared statement. But this exact query with the question mark will be sent to the database. Since there is another SQL query sitting out there, it doesn't have to do the grammatical compilation.
For the parsing, for this thing, for reducing parsing time.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. I remember that.
So that is why you don't have, you can't print it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because that is how it will be sent to the database actually.
Right. Because it is going to first check whether it's there in the this thing, in the cache.
Yep.
Yeah, I see.
Is already a working copy. Oh, there is a eShop 5 already?
Let's see. I don't have the latest ones.
Let me rename this guy to...
Yeah, it is already eShop 5.
I don't know how. But it's okay.
Madhu is really fast actually. He knows everything. Yeah. I like that.
Very good. Yes. And then
I mean Madhavi, sorry.
eShop 6. Oh, you should. I mean, I'm really glad you guys are maintaining that energy until the last. Yeah. With this one, pretty much we covered everything. It's just here and there topics. That's all. With the Spring MVC, the total end-to-end is covered.
Venkat, I think two more things are left to couple of things. One is this thing. I'll tell you. You said the other day that is Hibernate, RESTful web services, and jQuery.
Yep. We'll talk about
We'll
it.
talk about
No,
that.
I'm not saying. Oh, why? Let me see. Maybe it's there genuinely, or is it some problem?
Yeah, eShop 6, I got it.
It's not there, really. Oh, eShop 6 is there. Why is that? Is it because? Oh. Okay, then I'll do it. Okay, that's all. I'll check this in, guy, one way or the other. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks very much.
Yep.
Thank you.